me tell you a story.
Welcome to My Skeptical Sister.
I'm Megan, the skeptical one.
I'm Erin the Believer. We are in a very fancy,
Bougie, some would say.
it's a new setup. I'm pretty excited about it. It looks like a podcast studio.
Yeah, I think we can officially call this our podcasting studio.
I know. Ooh, I like your emphasis on a different syllable. Studio.
Studio. Well, I felt like I needed a little flair at the end.
Little finesse.
Erin got very, very bougie and picked us out some lovely podcasting microphones where we get to sit on our couch now.
Yeah, and I have blocked Ellie so she can't get up.
Yeah, we'll see.
She can try, but it's easier to tell her no.
Right.
And her bed is right next to us, so I know Kim will probably be happy. He'll probably hear some more snores.
Yep, absolutely.
Elena, if you're camping,
Oh,
don't
yeah.
worry. It's
Not a
Ellie.
bear.
Unless it is a bear. So don't let your guard down completely. That'd be awful. If
Oh,
she's
it'd be
just
our
like,
fault.
oh, it's Ellie, and it's not.
It would be Ellie's fault, not our fault.
Okay, right. Let's always blame the dog.
Yes, always.
How's it going?
It's going good. So I've had quite the reaction to when I broke the news to everybody about my shellfish allergy.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, "Oh my gosh!" I'm like, I know. So Saturday night, it's been quite the adjustment. Saturday night, I go to dinner and they pick a New Orleans seafood restaurant. My friends do.
Which
Lovely.
is not technically your birthday dinner.
But it's close enough.
It's really close to your birthday
really
dinner.
close to my birthday. We were celebrating another friend's birthday. But anyway, we go and the menu looked amazing. Why?
Yeah.
Because it had like crayfish. It had lobster bisque.
Is it not crawfish?
Some say cray, say some crawl.
Are they the same
Say some
thing
crawl.
though?
Crawl, say some.
What? What is that? Are you having a stroke right now?
No, I'm being very New Orleans.
Oh, no.
And I also just messed up all those words, so I was just saying them over and over again. You could say cray, you could say crawl.
But they're the same thing.
They're the same thing, yes.
Okay.
Crawfish, crayfish. But anyway, they had everything. Everything that anybody who loves shellfish would love to see on a menu.
Mean.
So, we kind of had that conversation and, whatever. And then they ordered, because they're so supportive, crab dip. And the server comes out and puts the crab dip, despite the fact that I did tell the server I was allergic to shellfish.
She's probably like, why are you here?
To be fair, I think it was the food runner. But the food runner comes out and brings, yeah, exactly. She's like, what are you thinking? Have you not seen the menu?
Yeah, it's a death trap.
Oh, it really was. Brings out this crab dip, puts it right in front of my, in front of my spot. And at first nobody notices. And I'm just sitting there like, are you fucking kidding me? And then finally I look at my two friends either side of me and was like, for real? Like, this is really where you all are going to eat over me. They're both like filling their plate with this crab dip over me. So, that was like comical, kind of. And then that gets taken away. Appetizers are done. No one at the table ordered oysters. No one did. But then another food runner comes out of nowhere and puts a whole plate, a half dozen plate of oysters right in front of me.
Oh.
And I was like, and then everybody just starts laughing. I'm like, this is getting out of control.
Especially because that's what you would have ordered.
Oh, it's so what I would have ordered, that and a salad. It would have been the perfect meal to then go out and have drinks on, light meal. It would have been great. And I love oysters, and they looked amazing. I tried not to look at them, but I couldn't. I was like, oh my gosh, they look so good. So then, the food runner came around, like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm like, do it again, and I might have to hit somebody.
I'm going to turn into a Karen.
Right.
Haven't done it yet, but this
my whole
will
life
be
I've lived
it.
without being Karen. But tonight, is you take away my seafood, and the Karens are going to come out.
Oh,
more than one, apparently.
I
have different personalities when it comes to
Karens.
So then I go to the bathroom, someplace that you might think I would get a little reprieve from all of this seafood, shellfish in my face. And instead, I go and sit down on the toilet, and I look up, and there's like a beautiful portrait or painting of a lobster. It's beautiful.
You can't even touch the paintings.
I can't get away from it. So I was like, this night. But, everything was fine until the topper, the one that was like, okay, I'm just going to drink. And then I really did. I honestly started drinking very heavily at that point. But the bill comes, and they have split that crab dip between all 7 of us, including myself, who could not even touch the crab dip. I had to pay $3
Did you
for that
bitch to them to your friends?
Oh, yes, and they one of them even threw $3. Of course, I didn't take it. I'm like, put your money back. It's fine. But I was like, this night.
They
This
all
night.
owed you a drink after that.
They should have. Yeah. Hey, all of you out there who are listening to this right
Yeah.
now, where's my drink?
Yeah, all of you. I know one of their numbers. I'm gonna be like,
Thank you.
next time you go out, everybody has to buy Megan a drink. That was torture.
Hey, now I could spin this in my favor. Like if this
Yeah.
starts to be a like, oh, we feel sorry for her, we'll buy her a drink instead of shellfish. Maybe that could be lucrative.
If they just plan a seafood themed restaurant,
Yeah, they
they
owe me
immediately
something.
owe you a drink.
Absolutely,
Everybody.
absolutely. So anyway, I had the roasted chicken salad. It was so boring, but very delicious. I was just pissed. I was too pissed to enjoy it.
Oh
It was
man.
fine. So anyway, I'm learning to adjust. I really honestly at one point thought, what if I just tried it? Because it just feels so strange to be allergic to something like, or to like be completely normal 1 second.
Yeah, you're
And
not
there's,
reacting before you eat it.
yes. And then there's something there now that if I just touch it, all of a sudden I'm like, surely not.
What if
That
you
was a
just
fluke.
held an oyster in your hand for a little while and saw if that made you break out?
Well, the lovely Miranda
Who's
did just
always our corrector.
always our corrector and is giving me a glimmer of hope. Just sent me this tonight. So oysters are, now here's a word, bivalves,
Okay.
bivalves, bivalves. I'm going to say it's bivalves, Bivalves, and
Okay.
not necessarily shellfish. Usually it's just the shellfish that turn you red. Still, my condolences. So,
Well, that's good because we also got a message from Charlie. I haven't read the message yet,
uh
but I just saw the picture pop up, like the
oh.
preview.
Oh,
And now I would like you to check your messenger
oh,
just to see what she sent,
Charlie, Charlie, what have you done?
just to
She loves
rub
to
it
irk.
in.
She loves to irk me. Hold on. That bitch. What's worse is now you can only have crab with a K, a capital K, and then she sent a picture of the fake crab. Here's the thing, Charlie, you little smart aleck. I don't think that I can even have that because also the ever knowing Miranda said, also beware that imitation crab usually still has trace amounts of real crab, so beware.
Oh,
But thanks, Charlie. I mean,
sorry.
thanks for being so
All I saw was a picture
supportive.
of seafood, and I was like, "What is she doing? It's so mean."
Yeah, she's just rubbing it in that I have to eat imitation crab, but I can't even do that. So
Just
thanks, Charlie.
crab juice to the
Oh,
wounds.
that lemon! She took that lemon off that crab dinner and just squeezed it in my
Squirt it in
wounds.
your eye.
Man,
Yeah, what a jerk.
it's okay. She's not alone. Apparently, all my friends they love doing this all night long. It was a great, funny joke at my expense. So they're very. Everybody's been great. Shelby was talking about going on vacation and eating crab for me. Thanks, Shelby. That does nothing.
Yeah, Birdie came in and was like, "Oh, my birthday dinner is
I
crab
know. I'm
legs."
like, okay, let's all just talk about how much we love crab. Yeah, I get it. So to try to shut them up, I like showed the picture of my swollen, gross neck. So if you want to see that, that'll bring you over.
Okay, have
They're
them
gonna
running.
come. They're gonna come like crazy now. You can go on our Facebook site and see that.
There you go. That sounds awful, actually. No, it's not. It's a cool picture,
I mean,
actually.
it's kind of wild.
Yeah. Well, talk about wild. I've got a segue.
Okay.
I am reading the sexiest book I
Mm.
have ever read in my life.
Is it one of your romance novels?
Well, not really.
Okay.
It is a book that I was like, I'm not going to read this.
Uh
Every book, I'm starting to notice a trend. Every time somebody's like, you need to read this book,
huh.
and my first thought is, I'm not going to like that.
Uh huh.
It usually becomes one of my favorites. Like Harry
Oh.
Potter came around, not a sexy book, but Harry Potter came around and I was like, wizards? I don't think so.
Yeah,
I'm not a
yeah.
child. I was a child. I was a
Yeah,
senior in high
turns
school,
out.
but still, I ended up loving it.
Yeah, that loving, obsessing about it, one or the other.
Yeah, I have a tattoo. It's fine. Twilight comes around. I'm like, vampires, shut up. I am not reading that. And we all know how that turned out.
Oh yeah, we all know.
So now somebody's like, you've got to read this book. I don't even know if she listens to our podcast. My friend Michaela, who I went to high school with,
Uh-huh.
who we like talk a little bit more now than we ever did in high school,
Uh-huh.
but she's always posting books and she hasn't steered me wrong yet. I'm like,
They're
oh,
always good.
if Michaela likes it, I'll probably like it. And turns out she posted this book. So I was like, okay. She was like, I loved it. I read it in a weekend.
Oh,
Everybody should pick it up. So I went to Libby
okay.
It was 21 hours long,
Holy moly.
which my like max is usually 13.
Yeah,
I'm
I
like,
can't think of anything I'd like to do for 21 hours.
oh, you haven't read this book yet because, oh my gosh. So I was like, oh, I'm not reading that. I went back. I'm like, I'm not reading this. It's 21 hours long. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, that really is.
I do not want to listen that long. She was like, trust me, you'll want to do it. I'm like, fine. So I put it on my list. I
Mm-hmm.
had to wait for it. It came up and I was like, nah, I'm not going to read it. It's about dragons.
Oh gosh.
I
Well,
know.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, that's
Did
true.
like that. Did like
That's
that.
true. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going to read it. It's about dragons. It's 21 hours long. I don't care.
Okay.
Then I go to my book club and
Oh.
we start talking about just other things that we're reading.
Mm-hmm.
And Bianca, hope she's okay with me saying her name. Bianca is like, has anybody read The Fourth Wing? And I was like, no, but a girl who I usually trust in books said it's so good. She was like, it's as if Jesus came down from heaven and wrote the perfect manuscript. And I was
Oh,
like,
wow.
oh, so is it religious? And she's like, no, no, no. It's so sexy. I just mean
Oh.
that it's
It's
perfect.
been anointed. It's
It's
touched.
just everything about it is perfect. I'm like, fine. Two people who I
Oh,
trust their book taste.
okay.
Fine. So I put it back on the list. I waited for it again. And then I was like, still dragging my feet.
Uh-huh.
And the first 2 hours I listened, even though I was immediately in it, was like, this is stupid. I'm still not going to like it.
Yeah.
And then we got to what has become my favorite trope I have learned.
What's a trope?
Oh, like things that happen often in a genre. So, like,
Do you know how many people out there laughed at me for not knowing what trope was? I've heard that word a million times.
yeah,
But so you usually hear people use words, you're like, I'll
sure.
figure it out later.
Sure, yeah.
Now is later.
You know, like childhood lovers reconnect. That's a trope.
Oh,
Or like
okay.
best friends to lovers. That's a trope.
Oh, okay.
Turns out the trope I love,
Okay.
which I needed this book to pinpoint it, is
Okay.
enemies to lovers. And oh
Oh.
my gosh, I love it. Before anything happened, I was still like, ooh, this book is good. It's
Okay.
sexy. I'm like, the tension's building.
Ooh, okay.
And then you get to stuff, and it's not a YA, it's not a youth book. Like, it's not a
Oh.
young adult book,
Oh,
which
for a reason.
Twilight and Harry Potter, those are.
Okay, this one's like, no,
This
we're
book
not
is
there.
like, hey, we're right here. Hey, I'm going to.
We're
Now
going
it's
up a
X-rated.
notch.
Nobody
Okay.
is allowed to read it who's not currently having sex, or one that who hasn't had sex, who hasn't ever had sex. If they're too young to have sex, they can't read this book.
It's such a weird way to just say it's an adult book.
I'm just
Why'd
saying.
you have to make it so weird?
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. What am I saying?
I don't know. I think you're saying that unless you are sexually of age, you're ready to have sex.
They're just like, with most TV shows, with most movies now, I let
Uh-huh.
my oldest, I'm like, you're fine.
Yeah,
Like,
but
maybe
you're not going to let her watch this.
I'm not going to let her read this book.
Okay.
Because it's very descriptive, but
It's
in
advanced.
a really good way.
Oh. You ain't complaining, is what you're saying.
No complaints over here, but none of my children can read it until they're voting age.
There you go. I guess I just never thought of dragons as being such
No.
sexy beings.
Let me tell you that dragons are not involved in the sex scenes.
The dragons were the ones that it was
Actually,
about.
There's one oh no.
Oh, wait. Now
There's
it's getting weird.
Well, I'm not going to go into it.
Okay. Well,
I'm going to go into it when we're not recording.
Also never knew you were into bestiality. But listen,
It's
we
not
learn
bestiality.
things.
There's no human and dragon situations happening ever.
Okay, just a little bounce wow with a dragon and another dragon.
Okay,
It's
I'm going
fine.
to tell you right now, but then I'm going to cut it because nobody else cares, or they'll be listening. They'll be like, "Oh no, I know what she's talking about." If they've read it.
Okay.
I'm telling you.
I think we just came back. Aaron just cut all that, and let me tell you what, she just told me some kinky weird shit about dragons. She said, "I'm learning more and more about my sister the longer we do this podcast."
If you want to hear it and you don't want to read the 21-hour book, then just become our Patreon and listen to that story, because I'm pulling that for Patreon.
But also, get ready. Shit gets real weird. And Aaron's down for it. That's all I can say. I'm just learning some weird stuff about my sister.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I'm down for it. It was hot. It was a really hot scene.
Yeah, the way you described that, something must be lacking in your description, because hot is not quite what I got.
You should listen to it. Just listen to it.
Okay.
Just listen to it.
I mean, okay.
You're not gonna.
Probably won't ever listen to it. No, it doesn't seem like it's anything in my wheelhouse. Okay.
So from dragon sex, are we ready to move on?
I think so. Are you ready for stories? Have we talked
I'm
enough?
ready to get you out so I can go to bed. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
Because I've
oh,
been
cause
listening to those
oh, I
books.
was like, wow, you're that tired?
No, I'm
Yeah,
not at all.
yeah, you're ready. You're ready for some dragon action. Ew. I mean, no kink
I'm
shaming, but
I'm not at all attracted to the
I do
dragon.
feel like it crosses a line somewhere.
I'm not at all attracted to the dragon.
Okay,
I'm attracted
so
to the guy who's riding that dragon.
oh
The
wow,
guy who's riding the
riding a
dragon.
dragon.
Not in a gross way.
Aaron
He's
Taylor, clean your act up. Okay, let's get down to
never.
business.
So I'm going to read another story from Chelsea,
Oh, hey Chelsea.
and it's sent directly to my DM.
Oh,
She
she didn't want me
slid
to
into
see it.
my DM. She didn't want you to see it
Okay,
until you heard it.
I see how you are, Chelsea.
It says, "Cheers, sisters. Chelsea again, only this time I'm sliding into Aaron's DMs, winky face, to tell
Oh,
this story."
I'll try not to be jealous.
Says this might be the last story about the creepy ass house I lived in during a few of my teenage years.
Oh, it makes me kind of sad.
I know. Aaron already knows, but for context, this story contains multiple screenshots of a conversation I had with someone who lived in the house until very recently, and I don't want to risk the screenshots sending out of order or not all attaching to the email. So that's why she sent it directly to my email
Okay,
or to
gotcha,
my DMs.
gotcha.
Anyway, let's get the fuck on with it, shall we?
Yeah, we shall.
Yeah, I've already made Erin wait 3-ish weeks, and I'm not about to make her wait a moment longer.
That's right, Chelsea.
Yeah, all of you follow Chelsea's lead.
Yeah,
If you've been sitting there
bring him
like, oh,
in.
I need to write it, do it. My grandparents have lived next door to the haunted house since long before I was ever even a twinkle in my mama's eye.
Hmm.
I remember being a small child playing in my grandparents' yard with a little neighbor girl who lived behind them. The owner of the haunted house at the time, Troy, didn't mind us playing in his yard, as long as we were respectful of his property and stayed out of his way when he was mowing the grass.
Hmm.
Often, the neighbor girl and I would stand at the top of the hill in Troy's yard and roll down it into my grandparents' yard below. We would sit crisscross applesauce on the hill with our sketchbooks or playing cats in the cradle. Cat's cradle?
Cats in the cradle and the silver spoon, little boy blue
And the
and the man
man
on
on
the
the moon.
moon.
When you're coming
Oh,
home,
that
that
I
I
don't
don't
know
know
why.
when.
Oh,
When.
when. I never can get anything right with songs.
Oh my gosh, I'm
With
glad it ended with
songs.
songs. I was like, what
Always
took
have
a turn?
wrongs. That song just reminds me of how sad my life is. I can never get anything right. No, with lyrics, song lyrics, Aaron.
Okay.
I I think I know the ending of this story.
I don't think you do.
There's no neighbor girl.
No.
Okay.
Uh,
It was a good guess.
it was a
It'd
good
be
guess.
quite a great story. Somebody else should steal that story and pretend like it's real and send it in.
Is it Cat's Cradle, that string, or is it Cats in the Cradle?
I have no idea what you're talking about. I thought
Okay.
it was just a song, "Cats in the
You know
Cradle."
that
And
game
every
you
time you
play with
say
the
that, I want to
string?
sing it because it is very
Then I'm
catchy.
going to say Cat's Cradle instead of
Okay,
Cats in the Cradle.
sure.
Or playing Cat's Cradle, or exchanging whispered stories of the dark shadows we sometimes saw lurking in the windows of Troy's house, watching us.
Ew.
Stories that we would later write off as our imagination of two little girls running wild and feeding off each other. Stories that, after having lived in the house, I would come to question whether or not they were actually stories at all.
Oh.
Fast forward to June of 2022. By then, it had been about a decade since I had moved out of the house, and the house had been a revolving door for new occupants over the years, which is always spooky to me.
Yeah. Like, why do they keep
Yeah.
changing?
Yeah. Around 2020 to 2021, a new couple moved into the house with their 2 children, and it just so happened that I went to school with the couple. I'm going to refer to the woman as Courtney. Courtney was a grade or 2 behind me in school. We weren't really friends and didn't have any classes together, but we hung out with some of the same people and saw each other in the hallways from time to time. A quick smile or passing wave in the hall was pretty much the extent of our acquaintanceship. But we were always kind to each other in passing and were cool enough with each other to be Facebook friends. Anyway, June of 2022 rolls around and I have been thinking about the house and the things that I experienced there. I knew Courtney was living there, so I decided to message her, fully expecting her to have no idea what I was talking about. I was wrong. The conversation in the following screenshots takes place over a couple of days.
Well, I like that there's proof of the actual screenshots.
Yeah, the conversation. And she blocked it out like she thought I was going to start stalking Courtney. I wouldn't. No, I'm kidding.
Maybe she thought you would share them.
Yeah, no. All right, so this is Chelsea talking first.
Okay.
Hey, so this is really out of the blue, but I used to live in the house you live in on street redacted.
Okay.
My grandparents still live in the gray house next door. I just have to ask, have you ever had anything weird or unexplained happen in the house? And then she put the like kind of sweating but laughing emoji face, which is a perfect one for that. Courtney responds, oh, that is so coincidental.
Mm.
I have told my boyfriend over and over that I'm uncomfortable in that house. The basement and the bedroom close to the backyard give me bad vibes.
Hmm.
I've randomly woken up to women screaming. I've heard my daughter call mommy. When I get up to go to her room, she's completely knocked.
Hmm.
But mostly, I just feel bad things. I always feel like I'm being watched. I always feel like something bad is going to happen. And especially that bedroom, I just get weird and bad vibes radiating from it.
Hmm.
Chelsea responds, yes, dude, I feel so validated right now.
I
She's
love
like,
Chelsea.
sucks to be you,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I feel
Dang,
great.
I knew I wasn't crazy. This is great news. How scared you are.
Oh, one time I was in the basement doing laundry, and out of the corner of my eye, now this is a blast from our past. We've heard some of these stories.
Yeah, yeah.
Out of the corner of my eye, I saw this huge black shapeless shadow. When I
Hmm.
turned to look at it, it flew straight at my head, but it didn't make a sound and nothing hit me, so I hauled ass upstairs. Another time when I was in youth group, I was cleaning my room and listening to Christian rock, and this knickknack I had of Jesus on the cross flew
I do
across the
remember that
room
one.
as if someone picked it up and threw it. Then another time, I had a nightmare that I was in a room that was so big I couldn't see the walls or ceiling, and it was dark and I was scared. Then I saw a person that just looked so
Mm.
evil. This is the one we just got.
Yeah, that one. It's so reminiscent of Stranger Things. Every
Yeah.
time she describes it, I think of Stranger Things.
Yeah. So in the dream, I ran to the front door
Ooh.
so I ran to the front door to get away, and he was outside the front door somehow. Then
Mm-mm.
I started running toward the back door, and as soon as I stepped foot in the kitchen, I woke up from my dream, and all the cabinets and drawers were open. I had never had an issue of sleepwalking before or since.
Yeah, that story, that last one
Yeah.
that we read, that was creepy.
That was
I
a
mean, it was
really
still,
good sound effect.
thank you. And I can't even really whistle.
It was
That's a
really good.
fake whistle.
That was perfect.
Thank you. I cannot whistle by blowing out. I can only whistle by sucking air in.
I feel like there is a joke in there, and we're gonna bypass it.
Good job. You're so mature.
Thank you. Nah,
Tonight, in that moment.
nah, I'm not mature. I read about dragon sex. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
that's true. Well, you could be mature and kinky AF.
Oh, okay. Okay. Courtney says, "What room was your bedroom? Nothing like that severe has happened to me
That's
yet."
what I was just thinking. I was like, man, no offense. What's her friend's name?
Courtney.
Courtney, but Chelsea's killing it in the storage department.
No, we get more.
Okay.
Okay, so nothing that severe has happened yet, but now I'm extra terrified to go into the basement. That back bedroom I cannot sleep in because every time I have a nightmare.
Hmm.
It is my daughter's room, and she never sleeps long in there either before she wakes up screaming like she's terrified.
Oh.
My daughter before has looked in the corner in the living room, laughing and or said there was a monster there. She
Oh.
got she's like,
That's
it's a
weird.
funny
It's
monster.
either hilarious or terrifying.
Yeah, it's something. It's giving me big feelings.
Hmm.
She got genuinely scared one time, saying there was a monster. Same goes for her bedroom. She says there is a monster. She won't even play in her room. But I legit video call people just to do laundry, and I will not do it if I'm home alone.
Ooh.
And then Chelsea says, mine was the one closest to the backyard. I always got super weird vibes from the closet. And then you get the scared face emoji. This freaks me out so much. LOL. It's not really nice of Chelsea to do this.
Right.
She still lives there. Chelsea says, I'm sorry to scare you. Laughing face. It was bothering me.
Then laughs at her terror.
It was bothering me for some reason, and I had to know. LOL. Courtney. LOL, you're okay. It just freaks me out more now that my feelings are validated.
Well, yeah, and with like really, really creepy stories.
Right. I've been wanting to try to cleanse somehow, but I know nothing about that kind of stuff.
Oh, girl, we'll get you in contact with Birdie. She'll send her
Right.
hellhounds right over.
Right over. Chelsea says, is boyfriend freaked out by the house at all? If not, show this conversation to him. Laughing face. You're definitely not crazy. No, he dismisses everything, she says. I feel like some people are definitely more open to stuff than others. Shit's wild. I've cleansed the house I currently live in, but I haven't had anything really scary happen here. So I'm not even sure how I would go about cleansing the house.
Hmm.
Courtney, right. He makes jokes about it, and I'm like, this is very real, and it legitimately scares me. I
Hmm.
don't even know who I would talk to about it either. I'm at a loss. Oh, she really should get in.
Oh,
Tell Courtney, who's not a real name, to come join our Facebook
yeah.
group. We got so many good helping
Yeah.
people. Chelsea says, I remember when I lived there, I literally always felt like I was being watched, and my hair was standing on end, even when it wasn't. It almost felt like an electric, tingly feeling.
Hmm.
Courtney, that's what I felt, and it was the first time I felt that way. I always feel like I'm being watched. It sounds weird, but especially when I'm in the shower. I feel like something is outside the door or the bathroom door. I
Hmm.
literally will open the shower door and look just to make sure. I felt that way in the shower too. What the fuck?
Ew.
Oh my gosh, this is crazy, says Courtney. I had a friend over there one time and she said she caught a glimpse of a woman in the shower, but when she did a double take, she wasn't there. I
Hmm.
cannot believe this is happening, but I feel so validated. I don't know if Courtney is into this or not. I do too. It's been years since I've lived there, but it's always bothered me, and I was starting to question if I was crazy. Okay, so after that last screenshot, Chelsea comes in to
Give us some commentary.
give us some commentary. Thank
Okay.
you. She says the same day Courtney and I had this conversation, she ended up contacting the owner of the spiritual shop I recommended, and she came out to cleanse the house.
Hmm.
Courtney updated me after the house was cleansed. Next, I will forward you a voice message from Courtney that I have permission to share and a screenshot. So I'm going to go ahead and play it.
Well, thanks, Courtney.
Yeah.
Hey, so I hope it's okay if I just like voice message you, because it's a lot to type and I'm like about to go into the grocery store. But she did say that the house felt very heavy, and she said she doesn't necessarily think it's like a demon or like anything like super negative like that. Like I had, I guess, thought it might be, but she did say it was very heavy. She asked if there had been violence in the home because she sensed there had been violence in the home. She asked me if I had depression, which, you know, a lot of people do struggle with that, and I do. But she did also ask me if I have a condition where I like pass out or get like dizzy, and I actually have POTS. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's a condition where you pass out. And she asked me if I was having issues with like my lungs, and I just had COVID. I'm pretty sure like I have pneumonia. So like that was kind of crazy, but she asked a lot of things that nobody would possibly know, and it was crazy. She went through the house and did like a pattern on each of the doors and saged, and it does feel much better. Like the house does feel much lighter. So yeah, that's basically what happened. She knew a lot of things. She did say that it felt very dark in there, or not necessarily dark, but she did say it felt very heavy in there. She did end up saying that she felt like it might have been equated to like a lot of the energy might be coming from Kyle's clock that he has. She said it's not necessarily the only energy, but she said that that does have a lot of energy coming off of it, and his dead grandpa made it. So, you know, she said there was a male energy attached to that clock that she doesn't think it should necessarily be there. So I'm thinking maybe his grandpa wants to be like home or in his clock shop or something like that. But she said that much energy can create a portal for the negative. So, yeah, she basically said it's not the only energy in the house. She does sense like other energy, but that is where I might be having a lot of my issues from, um, as far as the things I'm experiencing.
So after that, Chelsea responded, oh my gosh, dude, how wild. I knew there was something there. I remember feeling like something bad or violent had happened there when I was living there. So it's really interesting that she said that. Also, the thing with the clock, if he made it, I'm sure he put a lot of his energy and focus into it. So it makes sense that his energy would attach to it. How are you feeling? Courtney wrote, I feel so good. I cried after because I felt so much relief. The house physically feels better.
Hmm.
And then they just kind of go back and forth. It seems like things have settled down. So
Oh, okay.
uh, I'm going to skip a little bit because there's a lot here, but she checked back in a couple months later and said, "Hey, how are things in the house since I'm going to name redacted came out? I know it's been a while. Are things still feeling lighter?" And Courtney wrote, "Well, we moved a couple of weeks ago, but after she
Oh.
came, I never had any more issues."
Hmm.
So something still kind of made her want to get out.
Yeah.
Sounds like.
Interesting.
So yeah. What do you
Hmm.
think of that medium experience?
Okay.
Like,
Well, not the medium experience, but before that, like when they were kind of going back and forth, sharing these feelings of like uncomfort. And I can't remember what it was, but there was something that you mentioned that my mind went to like, what if there was some sort of um, electrical, I don't know, something happening in that area? Just stay with me for a second
okay.
while I form my thoughts.
Okay.
But some sort of like inner ear thing that might be happening, either
Yeah.
caused by a sound that's so high pitched or something that just causes you enough like anxious something,
Yeah. Put you on edge a little bit.
puts you on edge, and then your brain like receives that and is trying to process what it is, trying to identify it. So then you have kind of like this fight, flight, or freeze reaction to it, and you can't pinpoint what it is because you can't see it, you can't hear it, but you know you feel something is off.
Yeah. I don't want to ever give you any kind of debunk,
But you're gonna.
but the only thing I will say, and I really don't think it's this, but it
Uh-huh.
is interesting. I am not somebody who suffers from a lot of anxiety,
Yeah.
except for in my like mid 20s, I tried the NuvaRing birth
Yeah.
control.
Yeah.
And while I was on that, I didn't want to leave the house. I
Mm-hmm.
thought something bad was going to happen every time I left. I
Mm-hmm.
was anxious about everything. It was
Yeah,
a
I remember
complete
that.
like personality shift for me.
Wow.
I was really paranoid and I've never been that way before.
Huh.
And I didn't equate that to the NuvaRing until was like, for some reason, I went back to something else,
Uh-huh.
to my old school pills or whatever. Or
Uh-huh.
I got pregnant again. I don't know what happened, but everything went back to normal. And I
Oh.
was like, the only difference was that birth control.
Yeah.
But again, that wouldn't explain for Chelsea feeling it.
Okay,
And
it wouldn't, but it does kind of speak to my point that maybe there's something that's more environmental
yeah.
that might be happening. And because it's happening to everybody who lives there,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're all taking NuvaRing and not
Well, the
understanding.
boyfriend doesn't feel it.
Yeah,
So
oh,
maybe.
that's true. That's true. But I think that maybe perhaps it could be something structurally happening with the house or the land or
Yeah.
something that is causing this frequency to
Yeah.
be happening.
It's interesting that that's not felt at the grandparents' house next door, though.
Well,
It's
it's
just
two
next
different
door.
places.
Yeah, but they're real close.
Yeah, but one might be closer to whatever this is that's causing that high pitched sound or whatever. And it's not even a high pitched sound. Frequency, something that's just unseen that is causing this, like, I don't know why it's making me feel this way, but it's making me feel this way. So it must be, and of course, our minds go to paranormal.
All right. Well, I will give you that for the discomfort feel, but
Mm-hmm.
the seeing shadows in the window when Chelsea was a little girl, the
Mm-hmm.
mysterious dark shadow that flew at
Okay,
Chelsea.
first one, you're a kid. Kids are going to see shadows.
Second.
And I'm trying to think of a second. Right there a minute ago. Hold on, I'll find it. Let me shuffle through my index cards in my brain. First of all, what were we even talking about?
First of all, she's a kid. Shadows.
Shadows. What was the other thing you said? You said shadows.
Chelsea saw shadows, that like dark shadow that flew at her.
Oh, and that's a bat.
Okay, great.
Sorry, I think that's probably what I said in the last time because as soon as you said that, I was like, oh, that's a bat.
Ugh, whatever.
No.
Well, you can't explain that dream away. Can't do that one.
Yeah, because the dream, I did. If you go back and listen, I actually really did.
Okay, whatever.
It's a dream.
Whatever.
She did it herself, sleepwalking, trying to get out of doors. She pulled door handles, thinking it was
Okay,
whatever.
fine. Okay,
I did
fine.
a great job of debunking
Let's
that one.
go to the medium experience. How that medium went and knew You're having trouble with your lungs. Well, I just had COVID.
Mm-hmm.
You've got a condition that makes you pass out. I know about POTS, and I didn't know that was a condition of it.
Okay. I will say this, and I've said this before. I don't know how I feel about mediums. I
Okay.
don't know how I feel about people who can perceive things that aren't necessarily right there in front of them. So I don't know how I feel about mediums, but because I do believe in feeling energy,
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know how that energy transfers into things or, so I don't know. But I've never said that I was skeptical of psychics or mediums or things like that. It's specific. My specific skepticism is in men, for sure. Never believe what they say. And then,
Except for you all listening who are men.
except for all of you men who are, yeah. Oh, and maybe we'll throw my husband in there too, but I'm pretty skeptical of him a lot. So
I'm
maybe
most
not.
skeptical of my husband.
Yeah, you gotta be, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Again, Aunt Marsha's right. They should definitely never listen to this podcast.
No, please don't
Ever
tell
again.
them to.
Oh yeah, please don't. But mainly of ghosts of people's ability of your soul leaving your body and just kind of still being here.
Yeah.
That's what I'm specifically skeptical of.
Okay.
And more so even the ability of it then to be able to move things or haunt you or things like that. To me, that is just really far-fetched. But I don't know, like the being a living person and able to perceive, like I know my instincts can be really strong.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is that? Because I can't see it, but I might go, I know I don't need to go in there. Yes, I'm using my context clues, but it can be a lot stronger at sometimes than it is other times.
Yeah.
So what is that? I don't know.
I don't know.
But I'm a little bit more open to mediums, especially if she could like kind of tell that something physically was wrong with her.
Yeah.
Because there could be physical signs that you could kind of tune into. Maybe she coughed a lot. So she's like, oh, lungs. Maybe, but even then, that's kind of, or maybe she knew what sounds to listen for. It's pretty remarkable. And she's using her senses. And maybe she is a little bit more in tune with her senses than I would be.
Yeah.
And she can pick up on those things.
Yeah. I don't know.
So,
very interesting.
yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Chelsea, for sharing your conversation.
Another great story.
Thank you, Courtney, for letting us read that too and hear your
and
audio.
listen to your voice. I mean, I feel like we know you. Come on in here.
Come on.
That's right. And
tell us your real name.
I hope everything's better with your health issues.
Yes, me too. And I hope your boyfriend starts supporting you a little bit more.
I mean, I get it. He's skeptical, but it's okay. Aaron will support you. I'll hang out with your boyfriend. That got weird. Sorry,
like, well,
Gord.
I'm not listening to this one.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, we lost one. Okay, and also sorry again to my husband. It was a weird night.
Because you said you were skeptical of him. I'm the one who went there.
No, because I said I'd hang out with her boyfriend. I don't know. Okay, so I'm really excited about this one.
Okay.
I mean, I'm excited about everybody's. Chelsea, yours is great. Courtney, thanks. But I'm excited because through this little hustle that I did, I think we got a new listener.
Oh, good.
Yes.
That's always fun.
It's always,
I've been letting people into our group left and right. Have you?
Yeah, and I'm like, none of these people can be listening, right? But I think they are. I mean,
they might be.
Because they're not being added by somebody else.
Right.
They're like on their own accord coming on over.
I know. It's weird.
That's so weird. So this little hustle that I did, I asked this person if I could use their story. They were like, sure. I recommended listen to the podcast. They came back and said that they have been listening and they really enjoy the podcast.
Oh, nice.
And then, yes, we do have permission.
Long con.
Yes, long con. I'm just out here getting people listening. Okay, this is just kind of right into it because this was on a post. The name of the post is The Unexplained.
Oh, I love a title.
Oh, let me go ahead and say that. That's actually, I think, the Facebook group, The Unexplained. No, but let's pretend like it is. That's great. That's a great title.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, here we go. Hi, all. Last December, I was on holiday shopping.
Oh, is she?
I think
from a different country.
I think
I was on holiday.
I was on holiday.
I was on holiday, love.
Vickie, we're not making fun of you. We wish we were you.
Oh, Vickie, if you ever think Vickie doesn't think
Oh,
that.
surely Vickie wouldn't.
Vickie
But
knows how much I envy her accent.
I hope so.
If
If
I could
not,
trade kids with her and just have them talk to me, I'd
wouldn't
be
that be
like,
the dream?
Mommy, ugh, shut your face. I would trade my children
You
for
know what I
an
should
English
start
child.
doing? I just realized what I should start doing. When Macy James has like a huge tantrum, I should pretend like it's in a British accent. That'd be so much cuter.
Did you see that TikTok of the British mom who's like, does anybody else have a toddler
Oh, I do.
who, no, an
Oh.
English toddler
Oh.
who watches Miss Rachel so much that they have an American accent, and then she records her toddler,
Oh my
and she's
gosh.
like, "Say car," and she's like, "Car."
Oh no.
Just like Miss Rachel is ruining
Oh,
the British.
that's awful. Cancel Miss
I
Rachel.
know, that's reverse. We need to be watching British shows.
Oh, mine is Peppa Pig.
Oh yeah,
But I don't
we
think
watched
mine's smart.
Charlie and Lola. That was the show I always tried to get my kids to watch.
I
Way
just don't
better than Peppa Pig.
I just don't think that our American kids are smart enough to
No, they don't pick up.
They don't yeah, she has no idea. She thinks the same
Womp
same
womp.
exact thing. Okay. I almost said same exact language. It is the same language. Oh,
Sorta.
good grief. Get it together, Megan. Okay. So, to recap, Vickie is on
Sorry,
holiday.
you just started.
I
Yes,
know. Okay.
she's on holiday.
Okay, Vickie's on holiday. I stopped at a small strip mall to purchase a gift card from a salon. I parked my van across the road between a blue SUV and a white pickup truck, slightly to the right of the entrance/exit door. I went in, made my purchase, which maybe took 3 minutes, and exited out the same door I came in. The only other exit was an emergency exit across the salon. I walked out, and my van was gone.
Oh my gosh.
The blue SUV was still there, but the white pickup truck was gone too. I went into panic mode because I knew I had locked my doors, and it seemed impossible that someone could steal it in such a short amount of time. I walked out into the road, pressing the panic button on my remote. Nothing. I walked down one side of the building, pressing the panic button, and nothing. I returned to the door, which I exited out of, and looked again where I had parked, knowing I had parked there, bewildered. I then turned and walked down the sidewalk in front of the building from the door, pressing the panic button continuously, and nothing.
Oh.
I then headed back to the door I came out of, took my phone from my purse, preparing to call the police and my husband, when I looked up and the van was there.
Okay, you know how I am with directions.
Yeah.
So they walked out, it wasn't there. They walked back in, they walked back out, it wasn't there.
And went down the other side of the building.
So they've walked all the way
So they're
around.
like, I'm going to walk around this
They've
building.
double checked everything.
Then they walk back around. She's getting ready to call her husband and the police.
Okay.
Looks up, and there's her van.
Okay. But she has gone in this time.
Yeah, she went back in,
Okay.
like panicked, and
Yeah.
then it's like comes back out, like I guess I need to call the police.
And pressing the panic button, and it's
Yeah.
not
Yep.
not panicking.
And now it's nothing's panicking, no sound is happening, and now all of a sudden she's walked back out, and there's her van.
Okay.
So basically, I think what has happened is comes out, my van's missing. What's going on? Starts walking, looking for the van. Panic button, all the way around the building. Van's still gone. Goes back inside, like, what do I do?
Right.
Comes back outside, and boom, the van is there.
Glitch in the matrix, baby.
Right? I pressed the panic button, and the horn sounded immediately.
Oh, man.
So, like, is that my van? Because it was just gone.
Right.
Presses it. Yep, that's my van. The panic button's going off. When I got into my van, I got a really bad headache, and I started shaking, bewildered, and wondering if I had a stroke or something.
Huh.
I went on with my day and shopping, trying to forget about it, but obviously I haven't, and it's still bothering me. Can anyone explain what happened, or if you've had a similar experience?
That is very weird. Also, you never said her name.
Oh, this is from Vickie. I totally did in the very beginning.
Oh, I thought you were talking about our friend Vickie from Essex.
No, girl. you were the one that brought Vickie into this. No.
You
Miss Vickie.
never introduced her as Vickie after being like, I wonder if I can say her name. Oh, I can. And then you were like, oh, Vickie, if you think we're making fun of you. I thought Vickie, our friend from Essex who listens.
Oh, no. This is Vickie.
So it's like who's on first? Are there other people in England who are not named Vickie?
I think they're all just named
They're
Vickie.
all Vickie.
They're all named Vickie or Peppa Pig. That's all I know.
Vickie or Peppa?
Yep, that's it. Or Papa Peppa. Papa Pig. Pig.
Yeah.
Mama Pig. I mean, there's a bunch of them. But
Okay.
Vickie, I think there's mostly Vickies.
They're mostly Vickies. Okay. All right.
Okay.
So if it hadn't been for the panic button,
Yeah.
I would just assume you just didn't see it.
Right. You maybe were having like a moment of like eyesight with something weird happening.
Right. Or
But for both of your
Vickie
senses
looks
to
the way
shut
your
down.
son looks for things where they're literally
Oh my
right
gosh.
next to it, looking right at it. And I'm
He
like,
drives me
it's right
crazy.
there, baby. It's right there. And he's like, where? I'm like, oh my gosh.
Drives me crazy. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's so
Eyesight,
weird.
I need to get it checked. I don't know.
It's weird. But the fact that she's pressing that button and nothing is happening
Yeah.
makes it feel like a glitch in the Matrix. What I want to know,
Okay.
that white car was also gone when she went out.
Yeah. Was the white car back?
Was it back? That's what I want to know.
Good question.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'll ask Vickie. She and I are friends now.
Nice.
I know we're talking all the time.
Okay.
Well, that's a lie. It's been about a week since we talked last.
Is this episode off for anybody else? Do you all feel like this is a weird episode?
No, it's me. I'll tell you why. It is me. I'm just so tired.
I'm just so horny for my book.
Oh gosh. A lot of information.
I'm just
I
kidding.
mean, you gave us a lot of information in the beginning, but now it's like really
I was just kidding, but I am
there.
drinking bourbon, and that's really the case. I'm drinking bourbon.
Oh Lord. Okay. I don't even know what to do with that except for look for a fan favorite because I'm pretty sure I fucking forgot.
Well, are you gonna try to debunk it?
No, it's a glitch. And
Okay, you don't debunk glitches.
I believe in them.
Do you think it really was a glitch in the Matrix?
I really believe. Okay, I think that your question is so good that
Thank
it depends
you.
on that. Like if the van also came back, I don't know. Somebody could debate that either way.
I know. I feel like it almost makes it less validating. Was the white van in front of or behind Vickie in the beginning?
So she said her van was parked in between an SUV.
Yeah. Okay. It was Vickie who was driving the van.
Yeah. So her van was one in the middle. It was like a SUV and a white truck or something.
Yeah.
And the white truck was then gone with the van.
Hmm.
So if the white truck came back with the car, she could have just been having like I hope it wasn't anything neurological.
Oh, golly. Yeah, I hope not either.
Well, she was the one that said it having a stroke. I mean, I'm not.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just throwing it out there. I'm thinking like that is something that I would be like,
but
what
the
just
thing
happened?
that you can't get away from it is that panic button.
Yeah,
You're
unless like all of her senses, unless other people were hearing the panic button, and she wasn't. But I mean, I would only imagine if you're like a woman or anybody walking around, clearly looking for your car, pushing the panic button, and I'm out in the parking lot. I'm like,
and they walk back in,
hey, Vickie,
panicked, and they're like, "Yeah, we're hearing the panic button. It's right over there.
It's right there."
No.
Yeah, so I don't think
Nobody's
that
hearing
happened.
the panic button. It's a glitch in the Matrix, 100%.
Yeah. I want to know what Vickie thinks it was. I mean, I know that's why she joined this group and she's out there seeking.
Right.
But I wonder if there's like an answer. Again, I'll ask her. We're best friends. But I'll let you know.
Did you warn Vickie that we stalk our people?
But I think she's listening. So by now she should know what to get myself into.
Okay.
But anyway, I will ask her like, yeah, have you landed on anything? All of these people are probably telling you some ideas.
Yeah.
What do you think it is now?
Right.
You know, like let's go really crazy. What if she was abducted by aliens or some sort of weird thing?
Did you see anybody around while you were moving around?
Yeah, it almost seems like some sort of lost time.
Yeah, like time stood still and like the aliens were like, no, you're just in a parking lot.
Right, like an illusion.
They just forgot. They thought your car was the red Honda, so they didn't think to put in your van.
Oh, they're so dumb.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
Oh, yeah. Okay. No, you're pretty dumb. Like, if you're doing all that.
I don't think you're dumb. I think you guys are so smart and like, please don't take me.
No, I just think I don't know. It's so bizarre. It feels like there could only be one explanation or there could be like 100. And I can't figure it out. Can't figure out what it is. It's just bizarre.
Yeah. I love it. What a great story. Thanks, Vickie.
Yeah, but it's one of those stories that if it happens to you, I bet she goes over it and over and over in her mind a million times.
Yeah.
You know, like, what was that?
Right.
So if you have an idea out there and you're listening, Vickie would love to know. Just tell me and I'll tell her because again, We're tight.
Besties. I don't know which Vickie we're staying at when we tour in England.
I don't either. I love how
we're
this
staying
Vickie's
with
like,
some
I'm not
Vickie.
even British. I just like to say I went on holiday.
She's like, I'm Aussie.
right.
Come on, mate.
Hey, I don't know.
Oh,
I love
Vickie,
our OG Vickie, but I do love an Aussie.
Well, let's just go to both.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's not limit.
But let's not split up. Let's go to both.
Yeah.
Both of us are gonna go.
Yeah,
I thought you meant like you pick one, I pick one. I'm like, no, I want to go to both.
No. I don't go without you to strange Vickies.
Good call.
Not that I'm calling you strange, but I'm like, I don't know you.
Right, strangers named Vickie. But also maybe we wait till we're invited. No.
Since when?
Okay, I don't.
Okay. I'm just saying, on our world couch tour that we have announced that we are going on, where we're only staying on fans' couches, Vickie is now in it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Perfect. Okay. For this week's fan favorite.
I'm ready. Who is it?
It's me.
Is it really?
It really is me.
Oh my God.
I have to show myself some self-care here and some love and be a little forgiving.
Okay.
I got a lot of things going on right now.
I'm so excited. If you make me donate to anything, I'll be so mad. We're trying to save up our money.
I feel like we should donate to the shellfish allergy organization. So
is that really one?
Sure. If it's not, let's create it.
No, but that is not something.
Erin, did you see me look anything up? Like, I just pull that out of my ass. No, that's not anything. I just really feel like this is an important cause, and somebody needs to figure this out.
Okay.
An EpiPen, like, I was so close to just being like, screw it, I'll just try it, and then EpiPen myself. That just feels like it would ruin the whole night or something.
It would. It would if it went the wrong way.
Yeah, which is not cool.
I cannot believe you're making yourself.
I have to, Erin. I'm so tired.
I'm so excited.
I will be so much more organized.
Megan went back to work this week.
I went back to work this week, and I have been pulled into a million directions, and things, just got out of my control.
Yeah.
And I just sat here, and I will admit, I am so sorry, fans. You all are all my favorite, but tonight...
You're my fan favorite.
Thank you, Erin. Tonight, I am my most favorite fan.
Yeah, listen, you guys, I do love you all so much, but I do love Megan more.
Yeah. Yes! Say it again for the people in the back.
I love Megan more.
Yes! Okay, so therefore, I am forgiven. I'm given this one time only. I promise I will only cash it in once.
Okay.
Today is the day.
It's weird you didn't make me the one time only when you're going off, but that's okay.
That will happen another night.
Okay, you're first.
Yes, well, first. I mean, it is self-care. I just said self-care.
You're right.
I needed a little
self-care. So is that what you're promoting? Is that your cause?
Yes, I would like to bring awareness to the cause. Here's what I would like. If you have a friend or a family member in your life who has something that they love and they can no longer have anymore. I don't care if it's an allergy or if they just decided they're going to be a better person and they no longer can have that thing that they love. You do something sweet for them.
Yeah.
They are just hurting on a different level.
Aw. Oh man, is this a direct message to me?
Erin,
did you do this so that I would do something?
I don't know what you're going to do for me. Really, nothing you could. I can't think of one thing. I
threw away that shrimp leftovers because I knew you couldn't have any.
Did you not? You did not.
I did throw it away, but really because it was in my fridge a little bit too long. But there wasn't too much left.
That's almost worse. You could have eaten that, and you let it go bad.
I ate it for like 3 more meals.
There was so much shrimp.
So much shrimp.
And I consumed a lot of it, and oh my gosh, I paid for it.
Yeah, well, you sure did. Almost with your life.
Almost. Well, all I'm saying is reach out to somebody you know who has an allergy, and just let them know you love them.
Yeah, I'm sure there are allergy awareness organizations. I don't know if it's for shellfish, but
well, then I don't want to donate to them. This one is the most important one.
So we're gonna say self-care.
I'm just kidding. I know that there are people out there way, way worse off than I am with allergies. So please know that was a total joke and it was bad light.
But now you get to because you're part of that community.
Yes, but I think there are people out there that probably, I'm just saying. I am the fan favorite. That's all I'm saying.
I love it. Thank you, fan favorite. Thanks for being a fan favorite. Thanks for writing in, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and say this. If this is your first episode, something feels weird about it. Come back again.
I mean,
it's not the stories because the stories are great. We both went back to work today. I was in a boring ass PD all day, and I'm drinking bourbon, and I want to be reading about dragon sex right now.
Oh
No, I'm
my
just kidding.
gosh. You're just insecure that it's so weird because we talk a lot about your dragon sex.
I just feel
obsession.
like we're off tonight, and I'm aware of it. So come back.
Okay.
I'm saying, don't let this be your first episode
Okay.
without coming back. Our stories were great, so it wasn't that issue. I'm just saying, I'm off. And Megan's off. Our fan favorite over here.
Playing YouTube videos. I wasn't. I was trying to figure out ways to say goodbye.
I'm just saying, I'm off. You're tired. Come back, is all I'm saying.
Okay.
All right. So thank you guys for writing in. You can follow us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. Write in at myskepticalsister@gmail.com or go to our website where you can write in at www.myskepticalsister.com. Go to contact. You'll also see our P.O. box. You'll see how to become a Patreon, merch, any live events we have scheduled. So it's all there in one spot. You can rate, review, subscribe. That helps us out so much. We just got a bunch of new people in our Facebook group. If you have an Apple phone, please go on and rate us in Apple Podcasts.
Yes, we love that.
All right. And thank you guys so much. We will talk to you next week.
The night is dark and full of terrors. Game of Thrones.
Terrors?
Terrors. That's how they say.
Terrors. Okay. Good night.
La 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 la.
Are you done in the kitchen? Anybody in the kitchen? Was that just ice
I
maker?
think that was a ghost.
Oh, you heard it here.
Mm-hmm.
Was somebody in the kitchen?
It's your ghost.
It's not. I put salt around my windows and door right before you got here.
And they're not necessarily dark, but she did say it felt very heavy in there. She did.
So sorry. I was sitting here doing nothing.
What happened?
I don't know. Your ghost came and did something to
It
it.
all looks the same, but I saw it.
Oh, love Chelsea. Sorry. I started itching. I was like, holy shit, am I getting allergic just by talking about crap? Oh, jeez. Chelsea!
No, you're
No.
so bad at this.
Anything in my wheelhouse? Wheelbox? That
Wheelhouse.
doesn't sound right.
Wheelhouse.
I'm so tired. Wheelhouse, yeah. Oh.
Say that without the yawn.
Oh, could you hear the yawn? I thought I covered it so well.
No.
Damn. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.